Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Thursday night. I hope you are all doing well. Tonight, I was guided to pick a couple of cards for the collective. So I love when this happens because it always broadens my horizon for my topics for the night and helping everybody out. So I picked from a deck that is called Messages from Your Angels. And the card that I picked tonight is called Merlina. Actually, two fell out of the deck. So you get a 2-for-1 deal tonight. But the first one is Merlina. And it says, you are confused and indecisive because you do not have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. And I'm going to hold this card up so that you can see, for those of you who are watching right now, some beautiful blues and greens talking to our heart chakra, our throat chakra, our third eye, all of this based around love and communication. So I just thought this was such a perfect card, of course, because the universe helped me pick it out. But there's so many of us out here right now during this time that are having to make decisions and being very indecisive about which way we need to go, which way we should go. Should we do this or should we do that? And so, a lot of indecisiveness. And so, it really speaks to just stopping for a moment and gathering all the information that you have and seeking advice from different ones. That could be from, friends, family, your significant others. It can be from anywhere. It can also be coming from your angels, your guides, and the universe. So a perfect way to decide or help decide what direction to go, once you've collected all the information that you think you have to make a solid decision, is to simply put your hands on your heart and close your eyes and ask the question, is this decision that I'm about to make in the highest and best good for me? And wait and see how it feels in your body. We've talked about this on the shows for other shows. And so we are, my dog just brought me her toy. So we talked about this in other shows. If you're feeling it in your body, right? If you feel this lightness, if you feel this overwhelming feel of love or just the warmth, maybe it's just a feeling, maybe it's just a knowing for you, then you know that you're on the right path, okay? If it feels like someone's tugging at your stomach or you get that feeling, that's called I have a pit in my stomach, or that saying, that is a definite no, you're not on the right path. You need to think about this a little bit more. Maybe there's more research that needs to be done. Maybe the right person hasn't come in through in your path to help you make that right decision. Who has offered you or who hasn't offered you the right information, right, to make that decision. So check in with yourself, because your gut is never going to lie. Your gut is never going to steer you wrong. Those are clear messages from your angels and your guides. So stop and listen to those and see what comes through. And then just real briefly, I want to share the other card, Chantal. And this one is talking about romance. New romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving. And so this kind of ties into what we were talking about, the indecisiveness. And it's about giving and receiving, right? Giving and getting. So you have to be open to receiving in order for you to get this information. You have to be clear. You have to sit with this. You have to be open to what is being brought to you, either through a friend or a family member, right? Listening to the guidance, however that is coming through. And if you're not opening to receiving, then, it's harder to be able to give as well. You can give, but if you're not open to receiving, it makes it a lot harder as well. So I thought the cards were very, very, very appropriate for tonight. So take some of those decisions, those big decisions that you're trying to decide which way to go, and just sit quietly with it. Listen to your gut, and then be open to the receiving. Be open to loving yourself enough to be able to receive and say, I am worthy of receiving this information. All right. Good stuff. Yay, good stuff. Right now, we are going to head to the phone lines. We are going to talk to Rebecca in South Royalton, Vermont. Good evening, Rebecca, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Good evening. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I kind of listening to you. You kind of, I feel, answered some of my questions already by your cards that you pulled, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm struggling in my life with my relationship, with my marriage. And I didn't know what to do.
So, yeah, very interesting that I happened to pull those cards. It was absolutely no coincidence. It was no coincidence that you are calling in right now and that I'm pulling these cards and talking about all of this. So, what I'm getting right now is that that there's very much a blockage, right? And I'm not talking about a physical blockage, but it's more of an energetic blockage that's going on with you, kind of revolving around your relationship, right? And so it's you were going through some energetic shifts and changes, which is not unlike what many people are going through right now during this time. It's everything that's going on is because it's awakening us. It's making us open to higher possibilities, believe it or not. And so as we're doing this, as we're waking up to something different, old habits, old ways of doing things are kind of being shed and being released. And they're showing me that that's really what's going on with you right now, is that you're shedding all of these old experiences and old ways of thought processes and doing things, so that you could open up and be so much more. And so as you're opening up to this, it's causing some struggles, causing some shifts, in your relationships. And so it's really about, sitting down and writing out some thoughts. I'm being shown to sit down and write out your thoughts about your relationship, about how you want this relationship to look. Because your relationship, you guys, I get the feeling that you've been married for quite some time.
7 years.
Okay, yeah. So I mean,
but he chased me as a teenager. He followed me as a teenager and tried to get me to date him back then, 20-something years ago. And I was like, no way, no way, no way.
Okay. So yes,
7 years ago.
Yep, exactly. There's where that longevity is coming from, right? That's why I'm feeling like that you guys have been around each other or together for a very long time. So what you're doing is you're both kind of growing and shifting and changing. Um, and right now, it's really about learning how to grow and shift together. Okay. Because I feel like there's still so much more in this relationship for you guys. You're going through a bump, you're going through a struggle. And so this is why they're bringing it to the forefront, because you're the one that could sit down and kind of articulate what it is that you're looking for in that relationship, right? As it grows and shifts and changes.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I want honesty. That's my number one thing.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. This is about sitting down and getting honest with yourself, first and foremost. Okay. It's about sitting down and really looking at what is it that I am looking for in a relationship. Just in general, what are you looking for in a relationship? Then go back and look and say, okay, so what am I getting from this relationship? What am I contributing? Because that's a big thing. You can't just always be the giver or the receiver, because then there's that imbalance in the relationship, and that's when things start to go sideways. So I feel like there's this hang on just a moment. I feel like in the relationship, you are the giver, that you give and you give and you give and you give, and you feel like you're not receiving, right?
Correct.
Part of that too is that you kind of blocked, and this is where that energetic block is coming in, right? You are blocked in your ability to receive, right? You feel so much better when you're giving, right? That's the way so many of us are.
I feel better. I'm a giver.
Yeah. Yep. Of course, right? And being an empath and being a giver, that's how we thrive. That is inherent in us. The hardest thing for us to do is be able to receive. And that receiving might not look the same to you now as it did back 7 years ago. Okay. So what he's giving, I'm being shown again, what he's giving is coming in a different form, and it's not resonating with you like it did before. And so that's where that's kind of imbalance is coming from. So going back to, you just need to look at what it is. Go literally write down what is it that he is giving to you, right? That could be it could be on an emotional level. It could be on a physical level. It could be through gifts, whatever that looks like. Look at that and say, what am I able to receive from that? Can I actually receive those things from him? And, if you're getting that kind of that yucky, heavy pit in your stomach, that means that you're not able to receive whatever it is that he's giving.
Okay.
I'm feeling that there is a little bit of a disconnect as far as what he is giving you and what you are able to receive, just because you're shifting and changing, and so you think that he should be doing something differently. And if that's the case, you just need to sit down and be honest with each other. Open up those doors of communication and say, this is what I really need in order to feel, in order to feel loved, in order to feel this relationship, working and flourishing again. It's about opening up those lines of communication.
Okay.
because I'm being shown that those lines of communication have kind of fallen down a little bit. And so
I don't know if
they just,
and I don't understand if I've said what I need so many times that it's just thrown out the window, or if I'm not communicating it appropriately.
there needs to be a different way of communicating that. Hang on just a moment. Okay, so what they're showing me is that it's definitely you have to do it in a different way. So there are those things that he understands and that he responds to, right? There's that book called I think it's called the Four Love Languages, right? And it's about how we receive love, right? And we as humans, so often we know what our love language is, right? And I think so. For instance, one love language is gifts, right? The other one is time, like spending time with people, right? So we know what our love language is, and so often we will take our love language and we will try to pass it through to the other person, and it's just not hitting the mark. It's not hitting the mark at all. So you have to find out what their love language is and respond to that, right? And and then have that communication about what your love language is. Is it, if it's spending time together, literally just carve out that time. Say, hey, I'm carving out an hour for us tonight. We're going to sit together and have popcorn and watch a movie together, right? If that's what that is. But I'm being shown, don't leave it up to him necessarily. Maybe take the initiative and start moving in that direction, right? Kind of like taking him by the hand and showing him what that physically looks like. Because I'm being shown that he's hearing you, okay? He's hearing you. He doesn't know where to take that. He doesn't know. And for us, being on the other side, it seems like it's so simple, right? But it's not. It's not. So it's just a matter of being open-minded and being in that unconditional loving space and showing them the way, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm being shown that there's still more to this relationship. So
that's really what I guess I needed to know, if it's time to give up or not. And I'm not seeing time to give up.
No, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that there's still some things. There's still some things there for you guys to experience and to go through together. So yeah. But sit with what I've said. Just sit with it for a little bit and see how it resonates with you. Take a couple days and sit with it.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much.
You are so very welcome. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Next, we have Wendy in Brandon, Mississippi. Good evening, Wendy. Welcome to Your Time to Shine. I think we are waiting for Wendy to get back on the line. So I find it so fascinating that, like the last caller said, I was guided to select cards tonight. And, already when she had gotten on the phone, some of her questions had been answered. And so, it's fantastic. It's fantastic the way, the universe works. And this is what I love so much about all of this and the synchronicities that work in the work in the world. It's just so beautiful and so amazing. So looks like we may have Wendy back. Wendy, good evening and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. So what can we do for you tonight?
I was just wondering if y'all could give me a reading, please.
Okay. Do you have a specific question or anything that you would like to know about?
Just all around life, I guess, would work.
Okay. Let me just take a moment here and kind of tune in to see what your guides and your angels have to say, and I will be right back. There's just going to be a little moment of silence while I tune in, okay?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Wendy. Wow. So, yeah, wow. Your guides and your angels are just showing me what an incredibly bright light, amazing soul that you are. You have a really bright light. You're very empathic, quite intuitive. And I just kept hearing the word teacher, teacher, teacher. So I don't know if physically you are a teacher or if you are just here to teach in general.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a teacher?
No, ma'am. But
Okay.
I'm in a new class right now, and they do look to me to teach them stuff because I've already taken the class before.
Okay. You are a huge contributor. There are going to be people that are going to learn just immense knowledge from you and what you've gone through, what you've experienced.
Yes, ma'am.
And just your general being. You just bring so much knowledge to the table, and I think sometimes the knowledge that comes through and the advice that you give that comes through actually kind of amazes even you, and you think, wow, where is that coming from, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. So I want you to know that you have a very strong presence of guides and angels and loved ones who are helping translate all that information, and they're bringing that to you and bringing that forth for the people that you are speaking to, that you're teaching. And they are saying that you are right on task and right on path. You're going to find that this is going to open up more doors for you to be able to continue this path and continue to teach others.
Yes, ma'am.
I almost see you, and this, I think this connects back in with the teaching, but I see you standing on stage. I see you standing on stage and presenting to people, talking to people. I can see the crowd that's in front of you.
Yes, ma'am. That sounds close. That's real close.
Yeah. And this is something that really just it really sings to you. I mean, it just lights you up from the inside out. And so when that feeling is that strong, you have to understand that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, that you are exactly on path.
Thank you.
And they are pushing you to continue through this path that you're on, because the speaking that I see you doing is just going to increase over time.
Okay, great. That's good.
Wow, that's really fantastic and amazing. May I ask what your class is?
It's in drug rehabilitation, actually.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So I've been through it, and they actually had me come back to a class to participate to give what I've learned back to help others.
Right. Right. So earlier in the show, I had pulled a card and I was explaining it to everybody, but it was talking about the giving and receiving, right? So
Yes,
this is the part where you have received and now that you are giving back, right? So there's this
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
inline balance that you've got going on right now. And
That's
it's just,
wonderful.
it's beautiful. It is truly, truly beautiful. So
It's amazing.
definitely, definitely stay on this path and continue forward, because whenever you do something that lights you up that much, there's just going to be more and more and more of that. Okay.
Great.
Yeah. You're just going to pull it in automatically.
That sounds wonderful. I'm excited.
You should be. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, wow, that just sounds fantastic. So keep it up. I'm super excited for you. I think this is just going to be, this is only the small tip of the iceberg for what's coming down the road for you. So,
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
you're so welcome. And we're coming down to the last few seconds of our show. So I will have to say good night, but I want to thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Thank y'all for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm truly grateful.
You are so very welcome. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Wow, fantastic. Love, love, love how all this is working out. Thank you again for tuning in tonight. It was so wonderful to have you here and listening in and being with me through this experience. Go check out my website. I have launched 2 new classes, one in October and one in November, and another one to be coming TBD in December. Also, I've opened up 4 spots in October and 4 in November. If you'd love to have a personal one-on-one reading with me, catch me over on my website at www.wingsofsoulswithjulie.com or Julie YeagerWalker Medium Facebook or Your Time to Shine Facebook. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you right here next week.